From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Well, as the dog days of summer continue, AccuWeather's team of meteorologists say that renewed heat and humidity will keep folks in the east sweating into mid-August, while daily thunderstorms will continue to roll through the region. The steamy and stormy pattern stands in stark contrast to most of the western half of the nation, which will endure a hot stretch amid mostly dry conditions that are helping to fuel wildfires. People in the east may need to plan some trips to pools, lakes, and beaches around daily thunderstorms. AccuWeather's Tyler Royce said the biggest thing that will limit how hot it can get will be daily drenching thunderstorms. Those storms, most likely to form in the afternoon and evening, can produce localized damaging wind gusts and flash flooding. Despite those storms, there will be a general uptick in temperatures through late this week, with parts of the mid-Atlantic and the southeast staying steamy right through the middle of the month. Philadelphia, which recorded its 29th 90-degree or higher day on Tuesday, is forecast to reach that threshold a handful of times, beginning today, continuing into next week. At least one heat wave, defined in that part of the country as 3 or more consecutive days of 90 degrees or higher, could occur. In Raleigh, North Carolina, Tuesday was a relatively cool day with a high of just 83, 7 degrees below the historical average for that date. Well, that break in the heat will not last, as a run of 90-degree days will begin later on this week and may carry through the third week of August. Of course, it's not just the heat, it's also the humidity. The same factor that will help thunderstorms bubble up each day will also raise AccuWeather RealFeel temperatures to dangerous levels at times. Royce said, for most, it will feel at least 5 degrees above the actual thermometer reading through this hot stretch. That equates to real feels in the upper 90s to around 100. Perhaps most dangerous will be the limited relief the nights will offer. Because of the high humidity, temperatures will fail to drop below the 70s overnight for most, with some urban areas perhaps even remaining 80 degrees or higher. Research shows that average nighttime low temps are warming at a quicker rate than daytime highs, and that lack of relief at night can significantly contribute to heat wave mortality. Now, one area that could emerge relatively unscathed from the heat and humidity will be parts of the Great Lakes and northern New England, which should enjoy a few shots of cooler, less humid Canadian air. Saranac Lake in the Adirondacks of New York will be among the cooler spots, with daytime highs mostly in the 70s through mid-August. The warmth will not be limited to just the east over the next few weeks. The west, still dealing with wildfires and smoke, will experience the hottest weather in the country, with triple-digit heat searing the southwest deserts over the next week or more. That record-challenging heat is then expected to shift into the central part of the nation for the middle portion of the month. Well, fast-moving wildfires near Spokane, Washington, have burned more than 10,500 acres, and it's forced about 65,000 people to evacuate and damaged or destroyed at least 700 structures since erupting on August 1st. The Old Trails, Autumn Lane, and Fairview fires, collectively managed as the Spokane area fires, forced roughly 65,000 people to evacuate at the height of the emergency. By Wednesday morning, crews had established containment around portions of all 3 fires after cooler, more humid conditions helped firefighters make progress. The Spokane area fires are being managed under the California Interagency Incident Management Team 7, as more than 4,000 responders from 12 states and Australia are working the fires across eastern Washington. A 37-year-old man was arrested around 5 p.m. on Monday and accused of starting the Old Trails fire. Spokane County Sheriff's detectives and Washington State fire investigators arrested Aaron Farinacci on a first-degree arson charge in connection with the blaze. Officials said witnesses saw Farinacci kneeling near grass and looking nervous around the time the fire began on August 1st. The blaze was first reported around noon near Old Trails and Euclid Roads, north of Airway Heights. Authorities are also continuing separate investigations into the causes of the Autumn Lane and Fairview fires. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com, and you can stay weather aware with the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.